Hi, this is God's Servant, and welcome to my channel. Here I'm going to break down the symbolism and the meanings behind some of the things that went on in Super Bowl 58. Confucius said, "Signs and symbols rule the world, not words or laws." The scripture says in Hosea 4:6, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." In Deuteronomy 29:3 and 4, we read that seeing they may see and not perceive, and hearing they may hear and not understand, lest at any time they should be converted, and their sins should be forgiven them. Yet the Lord hath not given you a heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear unto this day. Do you have eyes to see and ears to hear? I hope so, because time is running out. Our Lord Jesus Christ said in Matthew 13:13 through 6, "This is why I speak to them in parables. Though seeing, they do not see. Though hearing, they do not hear or understand. In them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah. You will be hearing, but never understanding. You will be ever seeing, but never perceiving. For this people's heart has become calloused. They hardly hear with their ears. They've closed their eyes. Otherwise they might see with their eyes, hear with their ears, understand with their hearts, and turn, and I would heal them. But blessed are your eyes, because they see, and your ears, because they hear." Do your eyes see? Take a look at this picture of Allegiant Stadium, where the Super Bowl was held in Las Vegas in 2004. What do you see? I see sun symbolism for Apollyon the Destroyer, and cube symbolism for Satan or Saturn. And these are occultic symbols. And the occult, they're laughing at you because it's not the Super Bowl. It's the superb owl. Do you get it now? They don't want you to get it. The reason you don't get it is because you're ignorant to Moloch worship. Moloch is a Canaanite god, the god of child sacrifice, and they're communicating through signs and symbols. The Super Bowl is brought to you by secret societies. One of them is called Skull and Bones. It started at Yale and has famous members. Another one is Freemasonry, which is very similar and an offshoot. Here we see one of their favorite puppets, Taylor Swift, with big old hands. We've got Blake Lively, who was in the box with her, and Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds. And all three of these people, well, they worship the devil. They're into occult secret knowledge. Birds of a feather, they flock together, as I said in my last video. And here's her new boy toy, Travis Kelce. They want you to think that Taylor Swift is trying to get you to vote for Biden. But it's not about an election, because there's no right or left. There's no elections. It's selections. The celebrities are social influencers, and they carry out mind control. And this is what it was about. But I'm not allowed to talk about that. Here we have Travis Kelce. What's he doing? Is he in the club? Well, he sure is. He's throwing up the El Diablo, the sign of the horned god. And it's not always Satan, because sometimes it's Baal, otherwise known as Moloch, or they call him Baphomet. It doesn't matter. He goes by many names. These people are pantheistic. They don't worship one god. They worship lots of gods. Here we have Moloch or Baal again, right outside the Vatican. Hey, what's that? Is that a football? Yeah, it's a football. Do you get it? Can your ears hear? Here again, the horned god, the El Diablo, because your ignorance is their power. Let me reiterate to you, signs and symbols rule the world, not words or laws. Who are the people doing the signs and symbols? Is it your neighbor? Is it you or your family members? No, it's celebrities and people in corporations and people in political office and government. And the symbols are obvious to those who know their meaning, but to the ignorant, they remain impossible to understand or interpret. Here we have Tim Curry in the movie Legend pretending to be Satan. Hey, look, it's Ryan Reynolds, Blake Lively's husband, and he does it too. But it's not always that obvious. Sometimes it's very simple. Sometimes it's something like the tongue of Kali. And these people can't help themselves because they're literally demonically possessed. Just like Ice Spice sticking out her tongue, sticking out her serpent Kali tongue. And, we've got their pal Shaquille O'Neal coming by to say hi at the game. What's he doing? He's wearing his big Masonic ring. And what does Freemasonry teach? Let's ask Albert Pike, a general of 33rd degree. He says unless you're in the 30th, 31st, or the 32nd degree, that you shouldn't talk about their beliefs because they need to maintain their doctrine pure, the pure Luciferian doctrine. He says if Lucifer wasn't God, then why would Adonai or Jesus calumniate or spread false and harmful statements about him? Yes, Albert Pike says Lucifer is God. And that's what they teach when you get up to the higher degrees. Because in Freemasonry, not everybody knows. Here's Shaq with some of his friends wearing their Masonic apron over their penis, over their phallus. And here's that big G in the circle for genetics or generations. Because Freemasonry is a secret society within a secret society that not all members get to move up in. Only some get to know the highest levels, to know that Lucifer's their God. Once you get to the 33rd degree, they just love that number. That's when you learn this. That's when you learn that Lucifer is your God of Freemasonry. And the vow of silence is something they love in Freemasonry and the occult, as I shared. And this is also known as the Royal Master's degree. Then the Dugard, placing the forefinger to the lips to tell your companion, shh, look, isn't that Ice Spice telling you to be quiet? And then we have Leonardo DiCaprio again, because he's in the club. Then we've got old Madonna there. She's in the club. She's going to tell you to be quiet. We got Rihanna. Shh. She does the Baphomet in her videos and wears a pirate patch. Here we have another Mason, Manly P. Hall, 33rd degree. His statement reads, symbolism is the language of mysteries. By symbols, men have ever sought to communicate to each other those thoughts which transcend the limitations of language. In a single figure, a symbol may both reveal and conceal, for to the wise the subject of the symbol is obvious, while to the ignorant the figure remains inscrutable. Hence, he who seeks to unveil the secret doctrine of antiquity must search for that doctrine not upon the open pages of books, where it might fall into the hands of the unworthy, but in a place where it was originally concealed. Where would that place be? Usually in plain sight, because these people are using what are called nonverbal communication. They've got a secret, and they don't want you to know about it. That's for sure. There's Taylor Swift letting you know she's in on the secret. And there's Aleister Crowley, the most wicked man in the world. He's keeping the same exact secret. And knowledge is power. Playboy Cardi gifted Ice Spice a demonic pendant. But there's nothing evil here, right? He just has Satan tattooed on the back of his neck. He just has a monarch butterfly of MK Ultra mind control on his chest and Mickey Mouse on his stomach because Walt Disney was a 33rd degree Mason and a black magician. And Playboy Cardi also has a Baphomet pentagram on his arm. Oh, and a Baphomet goat right next to his belly button. Nope, nothing unholy at all. The peace symbol, by the way, is an occultic symbol, the broken cross. It's renouncing Jesus in all times, past, present, and future. They break the cross down. So the peace sign is literally them saying that they hate Jesus Christ. It has nothing to do with peace for them. It's a double meaning. This is what it means. It's the opposite of Jesus. It's Antichrist. Here's Alicia Keys with an Antichrist symbol right over her baby, like Rosemary's Baby. And don't think she doesn't know what she's doing. It's not a coincidence. She knows exactly what she's about. There she is doing it again. over her one eye with one eye symbolism. Here's Taylor Swift throwing up "I hate Jesus." Here she is again with double-handed "I hate Jesus." Here she is again with Kings in Satanic Service, the lightning bolt shirt for Kiss, throwing up that peace sign that doesn't mean peace to them. It means they hate Jesus. And are they laughing at you? They sure are. They're laughing at you because you think the Super Bowl's about football when it's really about that owl of wisdom and knowledge, that owl that they all worship, the owl that is associated with Inanna or Ishtar, a Babylonian goddess, or maybe with Athena, the Roman goddess, or maybe with Hecate, another goddess, because all of them are the same. They're just regurgitated over and over and over through thousands and thousands of years. These Nephilim spirits that can never leave Earth come back by stealing bodies. They possess people. They actually come into our dimension through the life in the blood. These gods, quote unquote, that these people worship are real entities. They're Nephilim. They're the children of the fallen angels that it talks about in Genesis 6:6. When the sons of God saw the daughters of men were fair, and they came down and married them, and they had children with them. And these spirits are trapped on earth because they were born here on earth. They cannot go back to heaven. God said, no way. Not a chance. You're staying down there. And these are disembodied spirits, and they want bodies. You also hear about them being the Anunnakis, and everyone thinks that they came from outer space. They didn't come from outer space. They came from the spiritual realm. There is no outer space. And one of the symbols you'll see quite a bit is the 8-pointed star of Inanna, or Ishtar. And that is a god from Babylon. Now look at this picture. There you go, the 8-pointed star of Ishtar, right there in the Super Bowl picture. Here we have it in Las Vegas too, the 8-pointed star of Ishtar. Here we have it in the ancient Sumerian culture, the 8-pointed star of Ishtar. Here we have that owl at Bohemian Grove, known as Moloch. Here's Beyonce doing 666, creating the owl and a pyramid, the sign of the secret occult knowledge, right on her forehead. That's Inanna. Again, this is the gate of Ishtar in Babylon that was recreated, because this is what these people are all about. They're just simply antichrists. This is Walter Camp, the father of football. He was a member of Skull and Bones, just like John Kerry, George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., and many other famous people that are in Skull and Bones. This is the Illuminati professional sports card, because they're keeping you busy, just like they did at the Roman Games. They're entertaining you. They're not being entertained by it. Here, they moved the ball for an extra point to the 33-yard line. And what's the address of the Allegiant Stadium? Well, it's 3333 Al Davis Way. Hey, Moloch. What's this? It's the sign of success on the hand in this fallen world. And they love that in Skull and Bones. You got George Bush Sr. doing the sign of success. And you got the Bohemian Grove where they all go and hang out. Oh, yeah, they love that Bohemian Grove. You got Bush Jr. doing the sign of success in this fallen world. Here you have Stylas from Tophet in Carthage, where they actually sacrifice children. There's Ronald Reagan over there doing the 666. He goes to... And here we have again John Kerry, a Skull and Bones member. Sorry the audio is a little bit off there, but I didn't want to redo it because some of it was actually pretty funny. Here we have a picture of the older days, the beginning of Skull and Bones over there at Yale, and one of these people is Prescott Bush, the father of George Sr. and George Jr. And this is called the Tomb. This is a windowless clubhouse where they gather and talk about their sexual perversions together while in a coffin with a skeleton on top of them. There's Alicia throwing up the El Diablo. Yeah, this is just kind of funny. This is a funny parody picture. We got the El Diablo again to remind you that this is the sign of the horned god. It's not the sign of just Satan. So when these people tell you they don't worship Satan, well, they might be telling the truth. They might be worshiping Moloch or Baal or Inanna or Diana or Artemis or Hecate or Hekhmet or Hathor or Anubis or Osiris or Isis. It doesn't matter to them. They are pantheistic. And there's tons of gods in their pantheon. There's so many gods in their pantheon that you could never name them all, because there are hundreds and thousands of these spirits roaming the earth, these demonic entities, these disembodied demonic entities roaming the earth. So when they say they don't actually worship Satan, they might be telling you the truth, because Satan was a seraphim. There are 7 Satans. Satan doesn't mean that it's the name. Satan is a title. It means the accuser. It's not the name of the entity. It's the action of the entity. And Lucifer is a Nephilim. He's the son of Satan, the son of that fallen angel. Because first there were the fallen angels, and then they had the children, and their children are called Nephilim. So the Nephilim are the children of the fallen angel. And in the Bible, in Genesis, it talks about them. It calls them the mighty men of old. They're in the Old Testament. And they were incredibly large and physically strong. And the Nephilim were called giants. In some of the translations, they were called giants. And so that's why you hear that there were giants in the land in the days of Noah. And it'll be that way before the coming of Christ. When he comes back again, there will be giants again in the land. There will be Nephilim in the land. And they may not be giant, but there'll be Nephilim spirits, and there'll be entities that are alive, actually. Again, they'll be coming back into our world. And it comes from the root word nephal, which means to fall, to be taken out of the inheritance, to be judged, to be an outcast, basically, not to be accepted anymore. Here's Alicia Keys doing the 666 with Usher at the Super Bowl. And here she's doing another symbol of the horns pointed at his forehead, indicating secret occult knowledge. Here she is doing the horns, the El Diablo with the crown on her head, the crown of Hecate, or, if you like, the crown of Apollo. Revelation talks about Apollo or Apollyon coming back out of the bottomless pit at the end of the world. Here we have Beyonce with the crown on her head, emulating a goddess. Which goddess? It doesn't matter. Here's Alicia Keys doing an Egyptian goddess with a serpent on her head. Here's Beyonce and Alicia both doing the horned god symbolism. Here they are in front of the all-seeing eye of Lucifer or of Satan or of whatever god. Here's Beyonce emulating her Statue of Liberty look. Yes, that's right. We all know that look, that sun ray coming out of the head. Here's Beyonce with 666 on each hand and the black and white symbolism. And there's the Statue of Liberty, which has nothing to do with liberty. It has to do with Babylon. Here we have Athena with the owl, or actually Hermes or Mercury. And here we have a male version called Mithras. And here we have another version called Columbia, which they try to tell you is the Virgin Mary, but it's not. This is just the goddess again, the Queen of Heaven. And in the Bible, they talk about that in Jeremiah 7:18. They talk about making cakes for the Queen of Heaven. And this, again, is another representation of the goddess. That's not Jesus. Here we have another representation of the fake Jesus. He's holding his hand up just like the Baphomet. What Constantine did is basically he combined Zeus with Krista, and he made Jesus Christ. And then we have people that don't even know that that's not the real Jesus, because Jesus Christ can't be put in a picture. Here we have the original picture of the Baphomet by Eliphas Levi, and you'll see that's not a flame in his head. On the top of his head, that's not a flame. Look closely. Do you really have eyes to see? Take another look, because they've all but scrubbed this off the internet. Take a good look at what's on top of his head. That's an owl. That's the owl. That's old Moloch. Or the owl of wisdom, the owl that goes along with all these freaks. There you have it. There's the big secret that they don't want you to know. Shh, put your finger over your mouth. Don't tell anybody that that's actually an owl up there, because they want to tell you that it's a flame. It's not a flame, it's an owl. And there's an owl on the back of the dollar bill, too, just like that big one-eyed pyramid. Here's the new versions that are all over the internet. You'll have to look far and hard to get that one I just showed you, because they don't want you to know that that's an owl. And that's what the Superbowl, the superb owl, is worshiping. And when you're participating in that football game, you're participating in a big ritual. A big ritual. Yep, a big ritual for the Antichrist. See the X for Osiris risen and the cube symbolism for Satan? Do you have eyes to see now? Were you paying attention? Her hair is made to look like the horns. She's worshiping the horn god there with her guitar. We've got Alicia Keys and Usher inside the Satanic ritual circle, inside the magic circle where they cast all their spells on the audience. Here's Usher in his black and white Freemasonic doing a pose called Osiris Slain. Here's Ice Spice in her black and white outfit paying homage to Freemasonry. They all do it. Here's Taylor Swift from her new video with Ice Spice wearing her black and white outfit and her red lipstick. There's Aleister Crowley doing Osiris Risen. Here's Moloch. He's got the all-seeing eye right on his chest doing an Osiris Risen. Osiris Slain. And here's Taylor Swift's new video. I couldn't even get to 2 seconds of it. She's got the horn god there. She's got the lightning bolt coming down there. What's the lightning bolt mean? Well, that's what Jesus said. He said, I beheld Satan as lightning falling from heaven. Here's Taylor Swift again in her new video. I mean, literally in the first 2 seconds, there was so much symbolism, I couldn't even watch it. I'll have to do a whole video if I try to break it down. This is a goddess named Themis, and that's who she's emulating. This is the same goddess, only in a different culture. They call it Nemesis. Here it is again in another culture. They call it Cybele, because, as I said, it has a million names. This one's called Rhea Cybele. See it at the top? And the one on the bottom in the chariot, that's Attis, her lover. And see that star up there? That's the star of Inanna. Yeah. Here's another version of Cybele. What's on her head? Well, that's the gate of the gods. That's Babylon. That's God's gate, how they get through into our world. What's this one called? It's called Themis. What's this one called? Well, this one's called Libertas, or the Lady Liberty. The Statue of Liberty actually comes from the Roman version of that god, Libertas. Here it is again on an ancient Roman coin. So as I said, it's all the same thing. Here's the plaque at the Statue of Liberty, because the cornerstone was put down by Masons. Here they are making it. What's that on the left corner? Well, that's the bull. That's Baal, or Moloch. And the person that created the Statue of Liberty, Frederick Bartholdi, well, he's a Mason too. But you can't find that in the Wikipedia page. You have to go to the Masonic page to find that information, because they've taken all of that off the internet. Why? Because they're in control of the internet, and they're trying to scrub all the information that they never thought you'd figure out. Here's Taylor Swift and Ice Spice climbing up a pyramidal stairway to where? Well, they're climbing up the Freemasonry stairway so that they can find out that Lucifer is the god of Freemasonry. See that G with the I in the top there in the right hand? He wants to be the big G god of the world, but sorry, Satan, you're still the small g god, and you always will be. Well, I'm going to end it up here. I'm just going to end up with Ecclesiastes 1 and 9. This is written by King Solomon. And that which has been done is that which will be done. So there's nothing new under the sun. Thank you for watching this presentation in regards to the occult, Freemasonry, the origins of football, and what was really going on during that huge ritual that all of you unwittingly participated in. God bless you and keep you. Peace be with you in Jesus' mighty name.